Meghan Markle, you've got to be very careful exactly what you do, because obviously eventually even your friends decide to find you out. We mentioned a couple of days ago now that Sir Elton John has got a brand new musical coming up at the Dominion Theatre in the heart of London's glittering West End, based on the hit movie with Meryl Streep, The Devil Wears Prada. And as I pointed out, he'd very much love to have the former royals Harry and Meghan in attendance. But it appears, as I've said before, that out of sight, out of mind is the problem with Meghan and Harry. Now here's where it gets, as ever, more interesting for me. Let me explain. Morning, good to see you today, and as ever, thank you so much for your time. Nice to have your company. By the way, I'm glad you enjoyed the interview with Sir Graham Brady. I've got more of that to come, where he speaks at length about working with Mrs. Thatcher, all about the shenanigans inside number 10 Downing Street, and a secret, yes, a secret tunnel. But is that tunnel haunted? It should be. Not by Larry, of course. He also talks about Larry. Yeah, should be thrilled about that. I'm working on that now as we speak, so as soon as it's ready, I'll put it up and then you can enjoy more. But thank you for supporting that. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Now, as ever, back to your royal story of the day. This is fascinating because when you look at it back, you know, starting in March, there was Meghan suddenly becoming the queen of potted jam. And what was fascinating was, you know, we were told that she'd done it herself, the labels, the jams, the jars, you name it. Oh, marvellous, wasn't it, you know? And then there was a sort of deluge of Meghan literally sending this out to her chums, surrounded by lemons for some reason, some old straw and a pot of jam. Just the one pot of jam. I don't know about you, but I could have got through that very quickly. And let's not forget, these jars of jams were labelled 1 to 50, remember that. Now here again is where it gets really interesting, because these jars of jams only went out to the rich and famous, Meghan's close chums. And part of the remit was you were told that you had to write literally a glowing tribute on social media posts like Instagram, that type of stuff. Best jam ever. Couldn't start the day without it. You know, you've only got one pot of jam, love, but suddenly it's like a brand new coming, you know, that sort of stuff. And then radio silence, and nothing happened. And as many people realise now, she had a problem with her brand American Riviera Orchard. So what went truly wrong? Well, behind the scenes, a source tells me that this was a bigger problem, simply because when you think about it, there are a lot of celebrities now out there, and some suggest being made to look something of a fool. Let me explain. You see, they put themselves out there, did they not, all saying it was marvellous. A bit like, remember, when Oprah Winfrey gushed about that clever coffee, and then that suddenly had some kind of problem, so she moved away from that. A lot of them said, oh, it was marvellous and it was delightful. One friend took herself pictured with her dog. Everybody was enjoying it. Now, the friends have realised that this radio silence has meant that once again another project from the former royal known as the Duchess of Sussex has gone silent. And then they notice this. You see, Meghan herself has never posed with her own product, her own jar of jam. And more importantly, neither has her husband, the former royal known as Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. So why didn't they? Well, according to a well-placed source who used to work for Harry and Meghan, but now doesn't, the reason behind this apparently was the fact that Meghan herself was unsure where she wanted to go with it, and whether indeed this was a promotion that she'd like to go down. So while she'll never look stupid holding a pot of jam and basically gushing about its contents, no, that was beneath her. But it wasn't beneath her, of course, to some suggestion as ever, allegedly, exploit some of her chums, basically saying, well, yes, you can hold the jar of jam and you can tell the world about how marvellous I am, but I'm not doing it either. So what happened to Harry and Meghan holding maybe 32 and 34 or 16 and 18? Why did she pull away? Was it all a hoax? And more importantly, the friends are now, shall we say, very reticent to do something the second time around. Neil Sean in the very heart of Yorkshire.